Hello, my dear friends. Friends, I am Jyotirvid Pawan Kumar. Friends, let us in this video talk about the law of karma. You must have heard about it. Many people have heard about it, right? The law of karma. But my aim of making this video on this topic is to clarify and highlight certain important points because I feel this is one of the laws of nature which is mostly misunderstood, misinterpreted, and it is of benefit of each and every person to understand what are the laws of nature, because the laws of nature are universal in nature. They don't differentiate between a Hindu or a Muslim or a Christian. Irrespective of the belief system of that person or the religion of that person, the laws of nature operate equally on each one of us. You cannot escape. So it is better to be aware of these laws, to understand these laws. That will improve your life, right? And help you evolve spiritually also. Now, this law of karma is of three kinds. The karma is of three kinds. One is the accumulated karma from your previous lives, because life is eternal, right? You are passing through a cycle of birth, death, rebirth. Even if you do not believe in rebirth, it is there, right? So whatever you did in your previous lives, good or bad, a sort of account like a bank account goes with you. And that accumulated karma from previous lives, in Sanskrit it is called sanchit karma, right? And whatever karma is to fructify or is to be worked out in the current life of a person is called prarabdha karma. And also no one knows when a karma will fructify or mature. It can anytime during this life or in the lives to come, right? But no one can escape. Whatever you did, good or bad, you will experience that. If you did good, good is bound to come to you. If you did bad towards others, you have to face that due to difficulties, sorrows in your life. Now, see what happens when a person is passing through difficulties, through a life of sorrow, suffering, obstacles, scarcity, then it is generally believed by that person and others that that person must have done some bad things in previous lives. So it is his or her bad karma, whatever sins he did in previous lives. And now in this life that person is suffering because of that. But it is not true. It could be, possibility is there, that a part of sanchit karma or accumulated karma from previous lives has matured now, and the person is working out that by passing through difficulties, sorrows. It can be, but not always. Now what is the other reason? So for that, I've done a lot of research on the topic, and I put this in under three categories. Now, before I deal with that, let me tell you, because many people don't know, that before birth, each one of us in the astral realms from where we come, right, in the higher dimension, each entity before birth has planned broadly the life to be lived on earth, right? Where that person is to be born, what things that person has to learn, and what previous karma has to be worked out, and all that is planned. As per that, the conditions are also selected. See what happens now if that person decides that certain things which he could not do in previous life has to do in this life, has to learn certain things. It could be lessons in anything like having tolerance, patience, right? Unconditional love towards others, right? So whatever that person decides to learn, then the conditions are also pre-selected. Now you will appreciate that suppose a person has to learn to have more patience or tolerance, then certain conditions, this can be learned only under certain conditions. And no one learns through comforts. The hard lessons of life are learned only through difficulties, sorrows, suffering, obstacles. So those conditions are also selected if that person wants to have some hard experiences, because the purpose of life upon earth is to learn in order to evolve, right? So conditions are also selected. So it is not necessary that a person, if that person is passing through difficult times, having lot of sorrow, suffering, difficulties, obstacles in life, nothing is working and that person is, just fed up, then it is not always his or her previous bad karma. It could be the conditions that person selected himself or herself in order to have certain experiences, to learn and evolve. So if you understand this, it will make life easier for you. It will help you in your difficult times to know that those conditions are there to teach you. So don't be disheartened, right? Don't get discouraged, right? Don't go into depression. This will help you greatly, right? Now, what are the various conditions? I have categorized into 3 conditions. One could be, see, in each of these conditions, one possibility is that that person is having difficulties or suffering because of that some previous accumulated karma has matured and that person is working off. That can be there. But the other thing is, in one category, it could be that person has pre-planned those conditions, right? Now the next, if a person is having some health issues, it can be in the physical body or mental some problems, right? Or some deformity of body, then that, if it is not being cured, then that could be that that person selected those conditions, disease or deformity or physical or mental issues, in order to have first hand experience of those conditions, in order to learn how to remove those for others. Yes, it could be that person decided, okay, and that person is concerned about mentally retarded people, so decided before birth that in next life I will be born as a mentally retarded person in order to have first hand experience, because you cannot have experience of how a mentally retarded person feels unless you are in that condition, right? So don't have pity, help those who are suffering, help those, but don't consider that they are suffering because of their previous karma. You must help them in whatever way you can, right? But they are having some experience, have that understanding. And if some parents have their children who are born with some such problems, if they understand this, whatever I am telling, then they will have greater understanding. They will be able to help their child in a better way and not feel disappointed because of the condition of that child, right? But only they can help him or her greatly, right, with this understanding, right? And the third category can be that a person is suffering because of some deformity or some other health issue, because at the time of birth it was a sort of accident. The doctor didn't care, or they could not handle that issue, right? There were certain problems. So due to unintentional conditions under medical care, right, it could be an accident, right? In such cases, the person concerned is then in later lives compensated, because the things didn't happen because of that person's fault, right? If it is only unintentionally done by doctors, right, sort of an accident, it can also be there. So if you understand this, then you will not be discouraged under conditions which are not favorable to you. You will understand this, that it could be anything even other than previously accumulated bad karma. See, after death, you pass through a sort of purgatory, because whatever dross, whatever false values that person has formed due to bad living on this earth, the person has to shed all those, all the dross, all the accumulated false values and all that. So that person has to shed all those, and that place is called purgatory. It's a sort of cleaning up place, and only after cleaning up, that person goes to the hall of memories, where that person alone judges his or her own life from birth to death, and then decides, oh, I didn't do this thing right. Now in my next life, I have to learn this. So that person comes out of that hall of memories with some decisions, what that person wants to learn in future lives. So accordingly, then there are guides. They guide what is to be done when the person needs to be born again, right? After 50 years or 100 years or 500 years, because the required conditions on earth have to be such in order to help that person to have certain experiences. So then there is a rest period in the astral realms. But the future lives are decided, right? So after death, the entity of that person is in a better position to judge, because this curtain of Maya is not there then. The person has greater powers of judgment, honest judgment of self, right? Now, while talking about this law of karma, I must mention something which will help you. Mention from one of the books written by the great Tibetan Lama Lobsang Rampa. You must have heard his name. Sorry, I have made many videos on him also, about his teachings. He wrote 19 books. Lobsang Rampa, while he was having training in Tibet under the great masters, and it was the time of the 13th Dalai Lama, not this present Dalai Lama, who is the 14th in the series and last. So it all happened during the reign of 13th Dalai Lama, right? So Lobsang Rampa was having training. He was being trained spiritually by the great masters. And once he was under training with the state oracle of Tibet. Now Lobsang Rampa, right from his birth, he had a lot of difficulties. If you read his first book, The Third Eye, it is all mentioned there. So Lobsang Rampa one day asked the state oracle, "Sir, I must have done terrible things in past lives to have to suffer thus in this. My karma, my predestined fate, seems to be harder than anyone else's. This is what Lobsang Rampa expressed to that state oracle. And the state oracle then replied, "Not so. It is a common mistake for people to think that because they have hardships in this life, they are necessarily suffering for the sins of past lives." Then he further said, "If you heat metal in a furnace, do you do so because the metal has erred and must be punished, or do you do it in order to improve the qualities of the material?" See? So, whatever difficulties you are having, you are learning through that. Those conditions are for your refinement. Right? It is refinement of your character, of your personality. Not only this physical personality, but your true entity. Right? Because inside this physical body, there are two subtle bodies. Astral body, Sukshma Sharira, and causal body, Karan Sharira. They go with you. Right? So, hardships are with a great purpose to teach you certain lessons. So take them in the right perspective. It will help you. I hope this video will help you greatly, and I feel that these concepts, the laws of nature, must be taught, must be part of school curriculum, because each person will benefit a lot, right, and can save a lot of trouble. They can have more understanding of the meaning of life. I hope you like this video. Thank you for watching.